Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So as always, I read all the comments, I try and respond to everything I can. And in the last video, when I asked for what other prop firms you want me to review, a lot of people were saying Ment Funding. Now, it could be a lot of Autobots trying to get on the act and try and promote another company, but I think a lot of these are actually quite genuine questions from a lot of the subscribers. So I thought I'd take a quick look at Ment Funding because they're quite new to the prop trading industry, but they have actually an educational and mentoring firm which has been going for a long time. And because they've got really good reviews on Trustpilot, they seem to be well established and pretty much an honest, genuine firm. So it could be they're actually branching out into the prop firm industry, and that could transfer over that reputation onto a new program. Now, as always, I'm looking for prop firms to really try and shake things up, try and come up with something new. And what these guys have done is a one-stage evaluation process, which I think is a fantastic way to go forward. It also allows people who just want a quicker way of getting funded to go through that route, don't have to do the first phase and second phase. Although a lot of times the second phase is generally easier than passing the first. So if you can pass the first phase, you can always pass the second. And also they offer funding up to $1 million on a challenge account, which is again bigger than anyone else out there right now that I know of. But as always, I always say to everybody, do your due diligence, do your research, and make sure you're happy with all the rules. Because on the surface, it may look fantastic. When you start digging behind the scenes, sometimes there are some rules that might make it difficult for people to pass the evaluation and therefore have to keep going back and take a retake, or if they're going to fail completely, have to pay in another prop firm challenge and therefore be out of pocket a lot more until they get funded and get some of those profits back in. So let's jump over to their website and have a quick look at what they offer and some of the rules. So first off, the website looks really clean, a lot more modern than a lot of the other websites we've seen from other prop firms recently, and I really do applaud them for taking the effort to actually design something a lot slicker. So here we can see all of the different models they have, ranging from $25,000 up to $1 million. Now, it's a target of a one-step evaluation to get 10%. There is no minimum and maximum trading days, so that allows people who are very slow and steady to go about their business and actually get a consistent growth to be able to get that 10%. Now, what we have with the daily max loss is actually set to 4%, which is less than a lot of other prop firms out there, and that really allows people to have to focus on their risk management and not getting into massive drawdowns. But the overall drawdown is very close to the max daily loss, only at 5%. So I think the drawdown rules will really catch people out. The 4% on a max daily loss is actually quite small compared to other prop firms. We've seen some up to 6%. Now, if you're managing your risk, you shouldn't get close to that. But when you have a max loss of only 5%, if on that day, let's say you have a 2 or 3% loss, you really are getting close to your max daily drawdown, which will catch a lot of people out. And the overall drawdown also moves. So as an example, if you get on your $100,000 account, if you get up to $102,000, your actual still max loss is $5,000 from that point. So let's say a lot of other prop firms actually fixed. So your maximum loss is from your starting point. This actually moves up until you get to 5%, and therefore it then is locked in place. I also think the leverage being only 1 to 10 on Forex pairs is going to catch a lot of people out. Now, I know from previous examples when I've been working on lower leverage funding accounts, it's much harder to get those 1, 2, 3, 4% runners because you're trying to go in a much bigger lot size, but you don't have the actual equity or the margin to do it. I think we've become so familiar with 200, 500 leverage that we actually forget that 1 to 10 can be quite common on a lot of the actual brokers out there, and it just takes a lot more thought and thinking around actually how we place our trades and how we actually size them correctly, so we don't go in with a 20, 30 lot trade to try and get a massive win and get to the target straight away. We actually really think about how we're going to trade our sizes. We don't have the actual leverage available. So if we look at pricing, it's quite competitive. On a $100,000 challenge account, it's only $750. Now that is a lot more expensive than some of the 2-phase verification processes. But again, they have a 30-day limit on phase 1, 60 days on day 2, and here it's no minimum maximum trading days. So you can pay once, go slow, and get to your target when you're comfortable. So it's really good from the start they've actually said hidden rules, and it's very, very good that they say there are 0 hidden rules, unlike other prop firms. So for me, that shows they've actually thought about what they've actually got in their FAQs and the rules, and they've actually made it quite clear and concise and won't come up with another rule down the line. Now this page is where I would say that every trader should read many, many times before signing up. Really understand what their 5% maximum trailing drawdown is and understand how that would affect you on your trading itself. And if, as an example, you like to use big daily drawdowns, I would really pay close attention, and I would say this wouldn't be for you because you have to be very disciplined on your daily drawdowns and the max drawdown. Now, this is another rule that catches a lot of traders out and also catches me out, which is a required stop loss. It says here, we require stop loss to be placed when opening a trade. Failure to place a stop loss will automatically close a trade. This is not considered a violation, and you will be able to continue to trade, and you can reopen a trade with the right stop loss in place. Now, what's interesting about these stop loss rules is they don't actually say what your maximum risk can be on a trade. It could be, as an example, which I do a lot of the time, is place a trade and put a stop loss way above my risk parameters. So I could be only wanting to risk 0.5% on the trade, and I know where that stop loss is actually on the charts, but I put in a stop loss, let's say on a Forex pair, 100 pips away. So it gives a bit of breathing room, and I can adjust that as actually the trade goes through. But I've also got a mental note and a line on my chart that says this is where I must get out. Now, I think I have seen that rule evolve on their website over the past couple of days. I do believe that I did read that you had to place a stop loss within 60 seconds of placing the trade. But again, now it says you must place it automatically, otherwise the trade will be cancelled. Now, the max lot size rule is quite confusing to start with, but obviously if you understand lots and their sizing, it actually becomes quite a lot clearer. So they're saying that actually in your dashboard, it will tell you how many available lots you can place on the trade, and that all comes down to leverage. So for example, if you have a $100,000 account, you can only trade a maximum of 10 lots. Now, the reason why you can only trade a maximum of 10 lots on a $100,000 account is all down to the fact you have a 1 to 10 leverage. One lot is equivalent to $100,000 worth of equity, as an example. And therefore, if you work on a 1 to 10 leverage, therefore you have to put over, for every lot you place on a trade, $10,000 worth of leverage money. But then 10 times that you'd be over leveraged if you place more than 10 lots. It's fairly standard, but it just comes down to the fact you wouldn't be able to place huge lots and get to a massive winning trade very quick. It'd be interesting to see that actually when you lock in profits or actually move your stop to break even, how it frees up the leverage. A lot of MetaTrader platforms do not actually free up leverage. It's always available actually on the platform. So it'd be interesting to see how this works on their dashboard and actually on their platform. So weekend trading is not allowed. You need to close down all your positions by the end of Friday trading. And if you don't do that, they will close them down automatically for you. It's good they actually specify this is not considered a violation of any of their rules. So it's good they allow EAs, copy traders and scripts on the MetaTrader platform. It's actually a good step forward from a lot of the other prop firms out there currently. Am I trading real money? Allegedly, yes, they back the traders. We don't know if they back every trader, but they do say that you are trading a live account when you're funded with them. So I can see what markets are offered. I would say probably everything that's available on the MetaTrader platform you can trade. So we've got all of the currencies, indices and cryptocurrencies. So well over 200 different things you can trade. Again, it's plenty for most traders. But what they do say is cryptocurrency, the leverage is 1 to 2. So if you are a crypto trader, it's going to be very difficult to trade that. So trading platforms currently offering MetaTrader 4. Future plans to go to MetaTrader 5, which obviously again a good option, allows more flexibility for other traders. And again, the broker is 8cap. They're not one I've heard of before, but you can actually click on the link here and go to get a download and try out an example for yourself. So there we go, my quick overall summary of Ment Funding. I think they're looking very promising. Again, there's no payout proof yet because they've only launched in the past couple of weeks. But again, I'd like to see how this evolves as time goes through. It's good they've actually got a one-stage verification process. But for all traders, I'd be really wary of the actual leverage and the drawdown rules. Those are my two concerns at the moment, and I think everyone should really do their due diligence and understand if it works for their trading style. If it doesn't, and you cannot manage your own risk and you cannot place stop losses and you are not disciplined about closing your trades at the weekend, then stay away from them. But if you can and you are disciplined, there's a really good option here to go for a $1 million funded account with a one-stage verification. So I'll catch up with you again soon next video. And as always, stay safe with your trading, manage your risk and don't do anything impulsive. Catch you later. Cheers.